Well, g'day guys, welcome to the round wrap-up. What a crazy weekend of footy. There's not much to say about it because there were some shocking games of footy, including Thursday night and Friday night. The game started to get good Saturday afternoon with the Master versus the Apprentice. That was a great match. Then it dwindled a little bit for Carlton GWS game. Carlton could not kick to save their lives. 9 goals, 20. They almost ran themselves into the ground, and the umpires pretty much gave them that game. I'm going to say it. The umpires gave them that game. That dissent call was not dissent. Canelio, as a captain of as a leader of a football club, is allowed to ask that question. Yes, he had his hands out, but he wasn't swearing. He wasn't trying to forcefully go up to the umpire. He was just going, why was that dissent? What happened there? Can you explain it to me? He had his arms out. It heat of the moment, not dissent, and Carlton get a goal out of it and end up winning by 10 points. So that call, and it was at a crucial part of the game, actually inflicted some pain on the Giants. So umpires need to fix that, absolutely. Going to be interesting to see where that goes this week. St Kilda flex their muscle again. Mason Wood is one of the best players in the comp right now. He is going to be, I think, scouted as the next Mark Blitzarves. And I think he absolutely deserves it. Very much deserves it. He played incredible. The first 3 rounds, he's been so consistent. I hope his injury is minor and that he only misses a week. If that, hopefully he doesn't miss any weeks because he's been very, very good. Very good. The Master versus the Apprentice, very, very good match. 2 young sides just going head-to-head. And the Hawks, Will Day, needs to be signed ASAP. That game, as a Hawks supporter, I loved it. Absolutely loved watching the boys get up and them do something that I think was vital for the season ahead, especially with Hawks Geelong coming up this weekend. I saw a post and it said, so the Hawthorn footy boss Rob McCartney told ABC Sports, "We think that's progressing really well, his contract. He's bought into our future, and I'd like to think, given the right amount of time and discussion, we'll see Will playing in the brown and gold for a long time." I hope and pray as a Hawk supporter that he is in that uniform for a very, very long time. He needs to be. He has to be. I can't see anyone doing much better than he can at the Hawks. You look at coaches' votes this week. Will Day did get 8. Bontempelli 10. He is the most overrated player in the comp. I'm going to do a whole video on him because I'm sick of mainly Channel 7 just hyping him up non-stop. It's just getting a bit sick and tiring, and he's actually not that good. His efficiency is terrible. I'll do a separate video on it because I'll just ramble for so long. It was a shocking game though, that one. Master versus the Apprentice. The Apprentice got up. Very, very good quality. Port Adelaide, one of the best showdowns we've seen from Adelaide. They just turned up from the start, and Port Adelaide played well for maybe 2.5 quarters, if that. But Rankin should have been the showdown medalists instead of Dawson. Dawson did not play better than Rankin or Thilthorpe. Thilthorpe is now, I think, just stood his ground and going, yeah, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready to take the Tex Walker mantle off the Adelaide Football Club. And I can't wait to see him do it. Gold Coast Geelong. Geelong looks so underdone. It's not funny. They look so cooked, and it's round 3. Gold Coast looked so good from the start. Geelong got a 2-goal head start. And Gold Coast, from that point on, just tore them apart. If they kicked straight, they could have absolutely flogged them. 10-13 to Geelong 7-12. So, it was a very, very good game from Gold Coast. And I think that King and Lukosius could be the next two best forwards in the comp going forward. Hawkins and Cameron, Curnow, Mackay, Lukosius and King. I think those six. And when Hawkins retires, Geelong will need to find another one because Cameron cannot do it by himself, and that is being seen in the first 3 rounds. Hawkins he should have retired after the grand final, and I think if Selwood didn't, then he would have, but I think he wanted Selwood to get that limelight. But King and Lukosius looked absolutely phenomenal throughout that whole game. Melbourne flexed their muscle. They just came out and dominated after last week's loss to Brisbane, winning by 50 points. And that scoreboard does not resemble the effort that Sydney gave up until probably a quarter of the way through the fourth, where Melbourne just started piling on goals. Absolutely piling them on. You look at their match timeline, and to start, it was goal to Cade Chandler, goal to Blakey, which is fine, but then Van Ruin, far out, he's good. Van Ruin, then James Jordan, then Harrison Petty, then Tom Sparrow, and then Melksham to finish off. Melbourne just kept going. They hit their peak just after the first, start of the second, and it just fluctuated a little bit, but Sydney just couldn't convert. 12-12 to 21-8. It's a huge score, 134 to 84. Just doesn't resemble how well Sydney played in the end, but yeah, Melbourne just too strong. Fremantle, West Coast. West Coast was so brave for 3 quarters. They were down so many players. It just shows how old their senior players are, because McGovern and Shuey, both hamstrings. Liam Ryan's still not old, but he's on the older side of that team, and he took a huge fall. His injury was nothing to do with age, but it's losing 7 players to injury post that game. Adam Simpson came out and said, "Yep, 7 players will be missing next week." Far out, and they forced Liam Ryan to play out the last quarter, which I think was really brave from him, but also kind of stupid at the same time. But yeah, it was an interesting round of footy. Very, very weird, I think, game. There were weird games everywhere and weird matchups, and it was a strange weekend with Canelio. The descent rule, I think, cost them. Mason Wood again. Cripps was really good. It was a good weekend of footy in the sense of some teams that needed a win. In Freo, Hawks. But yeah, I was surprised at kind of how bad some of the games were, especially the Bulldogs, Brisbane, and then Richmond, Collingwood. Yes, Richmond, Collingwood was wet, but Bulldogs, Brisbane should have been so much high scoring than that, so much more high scoring than what it was. It was a weird weekend of footy. Weird weekend of footy. I'm very interested to see what next weekend brings with the Harley Reid Cup in Geelong and Hawthorn, and a couple of other really good games coming up. Carlton, North Melbourne. North Melbourne still showing some promise, but they'll be without Griffin Logue most likely, unless his challenge goes through successful. So we'll see about that one. Cats veterans charged with striking. Isaac Smith striking, first offence, fourth quarter, $3 grand sanction. Nah, just sack him for a week, I reckon. Let him have a week off. He'll get booed again. What else is going on here? What else? Let's go to the Herald Sun website. Yeah, I'm doing all this live. I don't prepare. We just talk. Just been on for 10 minutes. We're all right. Just have a yarn. Let's have a look. Sport. AFL. Wow. Has flag bender turned into ultimate hangover? Whoa. It's a big call. Thilthorpe never playing Sandford again. Absolutely. Supercoach news. Wowza. There's not much news coming out of the weekend because it wasn't like it wasn't a belter of games. Like, it was pretty ordinary footy. Like last week, we had some good talking points. But yeah, it was pretty weird weekend. Very weird weekend of football. Not a lot of news coming out of it. There was a lot of big bumps and weird hits and stuff last week. But yeah, that is our Monday wrap. Keen to see what this weekend of footy brings. It's going to be a weird year. I think very close. You look at the bottom side of the table. Everyone apart from Geelong is on a win. And then the top half, you've got the top 4 on 3 wins each. So, going to be interesting. We can't wait to see where the season takes us and what happens here at Authentic AFL. We'll see you guys in the next video. Can't wait. Go Hawks.